tight warm up, man. Keep it up.
Whoa, great! Oh no, big mistake! Edwards got back past him and down to dynamic conference. It has been an absolutely astonishing season.
Hello everyone and welcome to round 11 of the Formula SimRacing World Championship. Today we are here for the United States Grand Prix from the Circuit of the Americas, and our drivers have just started their qualifying session. Today I'm Cameron Rodger, and on your cameras today is Peter Schulze.
Yeah, welcome everyone.
Yeah, so this is going to be a really interesting race today because the Constructors' Championship is very close between ACR, Musto and Sabema Racing. And with all their drivers present today, it's going to be a hard fight. Musto are leading the championship, but later on we will take a look at the predicaments and how they can win it today. And we are into qualifying, and as we saw in the practice session, some teams are practicing slipstreaming, and already Robin Panzer is getting a slipstream off his teammate Jene Simoncic. Panzer is replacing Michuhaya for this race, as he did last time out in Suzuka. In fact, he was very good last time out in Suzuka. He was right up there in the points. Sadly didn't quite finish where he wanted to, but still a very good showing. He's just won the Ace race as well, and now he is coming around the final sector to complete the first hot lap of the day in the official session.
I wonder if it's a good tactic if Robin just stays out and give Jene another slipstream, or if it goes straight back to the pit and go out again to do.
Oh, he has aborted that, but I think he would have to carry too much fuel, so he would hinder his own lap. And at the end of the day, they are fighting for the constructors, and they need both cars there, not only one. As 43 points is the maximum for a team in a race, so it's a lot of points, and you need to make sure you're getting the maximum out of that. Now we're also seeing Tom Sadley out here. Not the best lap so far, but he's an ace driver, and unfortunately Ghostspeed haven't had the best season, and he is as a reserve for the Ghostspeed team today. I think he's the lone Ghostspeed as well, but he's come around the final corner to see what lap time he could do. It's quite a long run to the line actually, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that, and he does a 1:31.6, but that is some way off Robin Panzer's time. We did see a couple of 29s in the practice session, and we also saw 29s in Ace earlier by Robin. And actually not by Robin, is by Kean White, who got to pole position then. Jene Simoncic has gone purple in the middle sector, 4/10 quicker than Robin Panzer, despite Robin having a slipstream. So that's pretty good from Jene Simoncic. Obviously, unfortunately, lost the championship last time out, the Drivers' Championship that is, after a collision with Dylan Scrivens. Didn't help his efforts there. But he's obviously race winner this year. He's come second in the World Championship multiple times. Very fast drive himself, and he puts it on. Wow, that is the fastest time we have seen. Puts on provisional pole with a 1:29.5. So that is a very good lap there. That's the fastest we've seen throughout practice sessions, throughout Ace, and everything before it. So this is where the fastest people we have are showing their speed right now. Next person across the line is Sergio Aras in the Flag Engineering car. Very impressive last time out. Goes P3 on a 30.4. But he's been impressive the last couple of races in Singapore as well. Unfortunately, that race being cut short meant it was only half points for him, but still a very good showing nevertheless. Not many cars actually set laps. It is a fairly short track, so you don't have to go out straight away anyway to get your 4 laps in. But also the real road where the track actually grips up as you drive over it that means the times just get faster and faster, and you want to be the last guy out where possible.
See Monster Racing also giving each other at a Projag at the moment, getting the slipstream from Roman Patel. Let's see if he can beat Yanni's best sector, the middle sector. Currently Yanni is basically over half a second faster than anyone's. Projag did a 37.1, that's still 1/10 lower than which, even though he had a massive so you see how good the sector of Yanni was. Now going through the last part of the track. A good corner here. Oh, he runs too wide. He was actually out of the track limits, I think, so he will abandon this lap. I guess. Maybe he will fit, but he should look out not get a penalty for can't improve. That's obviously a penalty.
Yeah, good lap there from Petr to go second on a 29.7. So Musto showing that they are definitely looking quite impressive to try and win the Constructors' Championship this time out. Obviously Petr Burlak and Mohammed Patel, who's now on his lap after giving Burlak slipstream. It's been a very good pairing this year. Got a couple of wins with Petr. Unfortunately, Patel hasn't got a win yet this season, and he definitely did last year, being the reigning. Well, he's just lost the championship, and obviously the year before he did pretty well as well. I'm not sure if there's a year where he hasn't actually won a race, but he hasn't so far this year. I'm sure that's something he would want to rectify today, especially with the points on offer. But obviously he does not get a slipstream as Burlak is in the pit lane, and he has done an okay first sector, a couple of tenths off what is the best right now. And in the middle sector, oh yes, he's about almost 3 tenths, about 2.5 tenths off what Gianni Simincic has done in the middle sector. So maybe Yerne's got a slightly lower downforce package for the massive long straight. The Callis has just set a purple first sector, so we'll catch up with him in a second. But Hammertel coming around the final corner in the Musto racing car, drives for the line with DRS open. Is actually yes, is it? Wow. Okay. Yes. So this is something we noticed earlier. It was very tight on engines at this this track for the temperatures to run the quali boost for a whole flying lap, as they have a special mode that they can use. They can use it in the race, but the wear is such that, as you can see, it dies if you use it for a whole lap. So you really have to be careful if you use it in the race. And here they just ran their radiator a little bit too small, so they're going to have to be very careful. And Callas aborts that lap.
Improve. That was long backstreet. That didn't look bad time.
Yeah, Felix obviously had an awesome race last time out as well. He was in P3 for most of it before Patel and Burlak caught up on their alternate strategy because of their grid penalties. So it looked for a while like Felix was going to get his first podium in the World Championship. Instead, he equaled his best result of 5th. And yeah, he's done okay sectors right now. It's nothing special. Obviously, he is not necessarily going for pole this afternoon in the Twister kart, but he is trying to get as many points as he can, because Twister are in quite a fierce battle in the Constructors' Championship with Edge and Flag to Flag, and I think one other team as well. So it's quite important that they get a good result as the season comes to a close. Just one race left after this, but Felix goes up to 6th place, 7 tenths off pole.
Better with that from Felix. Only under 1 tenth our personal distance on a 19 back straight at the moment.
Yes, Remco Major. So that is not going to be helpful for Ville, as in this 3rd sector you need all the downforce you can get, and obviously being right behind someone, you're going to get a bit of dirty air. And this corner here.
Remco's actually on fast laps. I think
Yes.
Ville didn't place in front. Oh, and there he goes into the...
Yes, Remco binned it, unfortunately, which is weird because he had the fresh air. Ville obviously had the dirty air there. And Ville is currently P12. Where can he put himself up to? P11. So just a small improvement, a 30.6. And Dylan Scrivens is just coming around the final corner as well. He qualified P4 and was running at the front the whole race last time until he ran out of fuel. He would have got, I think it was P5 in the end, but yeah, he ran out of fuel. Where can he put himself today? He's only in P12, so obviously last track was slightly better for him, getting P4.
To Petter Bröljak. Taking a look at colors, very good speed. At most 7. His first sector was very quick as well, so might be looking for top. Last sector. If he can nail the last corner. Oh, and there he has kind of oversteer. Doesn't help him up. Be on the run to the line. Let's see where he can. Or 20.
Why is Robin Panzer going so slow? Oh, here he is. He is getting a slipstream for his teammate Jani Simičić. He was basically stopped. Is this going to give a good slipstream to Jani Simičić?
I think
they could have done that a bit more effectively. Yeah, Robin had to open up DRS because you really want to be basically going at the same speed so that you're just getting pulled in by the slipstream. If the car ahead has slowed down too much, then you're not being pulled along quite as much because your overspeed is too much. But Yerne went purple in that middle sector, so it clearly got something for him, as any sort of slipstream is a benefit.
Yeah, second time without slip was only slower.
That is very true, because Sector 2 also includes the last couple of S's, turn 7, 8, 9 at the end of the S's section, so maybe he made a small mistake in one of those corners as well. He takes the straightest line to the line, and he does improve, but by 0.02 of a second, so just a small fraction there for Jani Simičić. And Mohamed Patel is up into P5 now as well. I think he just set that lap.
So that's the hard on the curve there on the entry of second to last corner. Last corner, apex, action. Now they run to the finish line. Should be a time to get 29, I think. Does a 30.1 last second.
Yeah, this is actually Ricardo Costa's debut in WC, I think. At least it's his first appearance this year. So that is nice to see some new drivers coming into the championship. Very good driver himself. Does well in some endurance racing as well. So good to see him coming over to Formula SimRacing for some open wheel racing.
Car in front of
Petter Bröljak. Petter Bröljak got a purple middle sector, and when there's a car getting out of his way there.
And
that's a shame, because he went purple in the middle sector, and as we were saying, that Jerne had a bit of an advantage there, but I didn't see Petter getting a slipstream, but maybe he at least got something, because that was very quick from him. And we now have, is that Kayla and Patel lining up for some laps as well.
Also a problem that Petter had to abandon last lap seat. I'm pretty.
Yeah, Petter's also, there's actually an appeal still going on for the tyres that he used because of complications with possible cuts and stuff like that in Suzuka. So, I mean, he is a FSR World Champion back in 2015, so he definitely knows how to sim race, and maybe it's just a bit of either confusion or something like that to do with the rules, but I'm sure he will work it out, having won a couple of races this season. They currently just have a couple of cars building up for their next quali laps. A lot of cars have, a lot of them have completed their third laps, so they only have a 1 lap to go. You only have, you have 12 laps, but that includes in and out laps. So it takes 3 laps to do 1 run. So you have 4 laps, and most people have done their first 3, which means they only have 1 left, despite there being 3 minutes left in the session. Usually want to leave it as late as possible, because as I said earlier, the railroad builds up and you really want to be that last person out. Someone on a lap right now is Mohammed Patel, coming around turns 16, 17 and 18. This wonderful, wonderful triple right-hander. Gets slightly tighter on the exit. You've got to keep it to the right to open up this left-hander that he's going through right now. And then into the final corner. Long run to the line with DRS. You just have to hope you got a good lap on your delta, and he goes up to P4.
Yeah, and we have Petar Projak on the lap as well. This is the lap which needs to count for Petar. He needs to improve. Otherwise, you know, he might not start P2 this race or not where he wants to next race. So far, his first sector was an improvement. He's not getting a slipstream this time around. I think at least not a good one. Let's see, last time around his middle sector was a 37.0. It's a 37.0 again by Projak. Rico Acosta did a 37.0 as well. Let's see. Petar needs to nail this last sector. A bit of a bad entry into, yep, and that's his lap over.
That's him done as well. That is him 10 out of 12 laps. He's only got 2 left, which is not enough to do an in-lap, flying lap, and an out-lap, a flying lap, and an in-lap. So it's all down to the cars behind him. And Ricardo Costa put it up to 3rd place on his debut as well. And that is that's quite a good lap there from the Twister driver. And Jene Simoncic is on a lap. Where is Robin Panzer? Robin Panzer, I think, Robin Panzer is trying to line up for a slipstream, so this could be very good for Jene Simoncic because Petar Burlak, he's coming out, but he's not got enough laps. I really hope he knows that, because he will get a DQ from the game and he will not be able to finish that. So here is Jene Simoncic coming down the back straight. Robin Panzer giving him a slipstream. This is a bit better this lap. This is a bit better. Twister car there as well, but that shouldn't be an issue because they'll get out of the way nicely. Comes down into this 3rd sector, bit wiggly on the apex of that corner. Now coming around these double hairpins, which is very difficult because they sort of kink and turn their way. There's not just 2 easy hairpins. And yes, again, very wiggly on the exit. Nice wide entrance, which gets you a really tight exit here through turn 18 to open up this mega fast left-hander. Goes down to 6th here, slightly on the grass, but that's fine. That is allowed. And now the final corner. Where can Jene Simoncic put his? Oh, but he went purple in the middle sector, but he abandoned it. So maybe he thought he cut or whatever.
Is there an exception on the exit of the last of turn 19?
Yes.
Well, then
you're allowed.
Oh.
No, there's an exception. So you're allowed to use the red tarmac as well.
Oh, yeah. Then I'm wrong. Then Petar's lap is fine.
So Mohammed Patel now seems to be the next quick guy with some sector times right now. P5 currently on a 29.8. Their personal best in the first sector. Slightly slower in the middle sector, however, that is not even a 10th off what Jene Simoncic did on his fastest lap. Now again, he's got to do the same as his teammate, come around this triple apex right-hander. And he has 2 corners to go to see what time he can put on the board. Uses all the road available. Oh, that's right on the limit. Possibly lost a couple of hundredths there around the final corner, and can Mohammed Patel put it on pole position, or at least get an improvement today. He goes to P4, so he gets Danny Kiss for P4. And still got a couple of drivers on laps behind. We got Kirill Burikov in the Invictus coming out the final corner. Had a good race, a good qualifying a couple of races ago in Spa. That's only P12 for him today. And then now we got Sergi Arras in the flag to flag engineering car. Where can he put himself? He's already in P7, so not a bad result. If this race stays, does improve, so he stays at P7. Now Robin Panzar and Felix van Delft all come to line at once, and Robin improves but stays in his position. And the last guy on track is actually Florian Becker. Is he on a lap? Yeah, he's got a sector 1 time.
No,
so
no. He went over the line after the time. He's finished. This lap will not count.
He's on 11 laps as well.
Yeah, well, he was definitely too late on the line. I can see that the game counts him as finished.
I hope he knows this. I hope he knows this, because he will get disqualified otherwise.
On how many laps is he? Oh, he's fine. Oh no, he's not. Or is...
Well, if he goes over the line, that's lap 12, then he'll be on lap 13.
Well, the thing is though, if he goes over the line, he doesn't get the extra lap because you already finished the session. No?
Okay.
But we can watch it anyways.
He abandons it anyway, so that gets rid of that.
It's not a good pit exit though, he needs to practice more on the warm-up.
Yes, so that is your grid for today's race. Jerne Simoncic, after losing the championship for the drivers last time out, has come back to show he's still got it. And he has got pole position today from Petr Berliak and Ricardo Costa are your top 3.
Yeah, and we were going on a quick break and back right before it starts.
TMX Thrustmaster wheel. It's going down.
Xbox One?
I can't wait to play when I get home.
You'll let me play?
Yeah. I play first. Yeah.
You know, I'll race you for it.
Well, I have to hand
Will not run. Keep it up.
Whoa! Great!
Oh no! Big mistake! Edwards!
Go back last and down to 10.
Dynamic corners!
It has been an absolutely astonishing season.
And welcome back to round 11 of the Formula SimRacing World Championship from the Circuit of the Americas. And we just had a very interesting qualifying session, and we're just about to move into the race session. But before we do, just going to have a quick look at the Constructors' Championship, because this can be sorted today should the results go the way of Musto Racing. They currently lead the championship by 28.5 points. They have 247, and ACR Zakspeed have 218.5, and then Sabema have 195.5. With one race remaining in Brazil in 2 weeks' time, that means you need a lead of 43 points. And obviously, if you do the maths, that is 14.5 points that Musto Racing need. And as the race goes on, we will keep you up to date with the live points of where they're sitting, and hopefully for Musto, they can try and win this time out. But hopefully for us as viewers, we can keep it going to the last race. And Yerny Simincic on pole is doing his best to keep the constructors' points open until the next race in Brazil. So following this, we will get Peter to take us through the grid for today's race.
Yeah, let's take a look where everybody qualified. It will be Janne Simincic starting in P1. Then we have Petr Prolek completing the first row in P2. We have a newcomer, Ricardo Costa, and Muhammad Patel in the second row. Behind them, we have Daniel Kish and Robin Panzer. In P7, we have Sergio Harris, and in P8, Sander Callas. Behind them are Martin Gosby and Michele Di Alessandro. A surprisingly bad qualifying session from our title winner this year. We have Ville Leppala and Felix van Delft in 11th and 12th. Then we have Kirill Birokov and Thomas Satherley, 13th and 14th. Behind them are Germano Zappala and Jos Araneda. In P17 we have Arush Mashkiuli, Dylan Scrivens only in P18 this time around. Florian Gaia and Florian Becker are in P19 and P20. Then we have Remco Major and Jim Parisis in 21st and 22, and rounding up the grid is David Kreko.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. Unfortunately, we only have 23 cars today because a couple of guys couldn't make it today. But still, the constructors is on the line, and everyone will be giving their best performance today. And notable people to watch out for are, for instance, Ricardo Costa in P3. First race this season. We got D'Alessandro. He won the drivers. Excuse me. He won the drivers' championship last time out in Suzuka, but he's only in P10 today. So we need to see what he can do from back there. Did say he was having a couple of wheel issues. Maybe that's just an excuse for him being slow, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes as the race goes on.
The last time Michele finished so far on the order was, I think, in Canada, where he was like 11th, and in the end he finished second, just seconds behind Yanni Simon. So we can expect some race pace from Michele, I think.
And well, I do completely agree with you because he came. Yeah, as you said, I think he came second because again, Yanni got pole and Michele was starting further down because he had good tyre wear and took a tyre wear. Lapella and Felix van Delft in 11th and 12th place. They're both on the soft tyres because obviously top 10 have to start on quali tyres, but the 11th downwards can choose whatever they want. So obviously starting on the soft tyre, they are going to go longer into the race, and they will be a factor, maybe like Phil Kraus earlier in Ace, when he used those soft tyres to great effect, as later on in the race he could use the super softs and make some time up there.
So we see this car come back onto the Yanni Simon.
Yeah, I wonder how he's going to drive today, actually, because he's got nothing to lose. Because, well, in terms of the Drivers' Championship, he's got nothing to lose. But will he let that get the better of him in some way, or will he really think about trying to beat Petter Berliak today? Because obviously they need to gain points on Musto Racing. And with Petter having the inside line, we saw, especially in Ace, it's very easy to overtake when you are starting in second place, as you have the inside line for turn 1. So all drivers now just about lined up. David Greco, the last driver in P23 in the Thrustmaster racing car. There he goes, all lined up. So now we are just waiting for the 4 red lights today. There we go, and 3 and 4 red lights. And we're away for the United States Grand Prix. And Yanni Simicic has had a decent start, actually. He's managed to get across. And second place man didn't have the best start in the world. Yanni Simicic keeping the lead from Petter Berliak. And Mohammed Patel's managed to get Danny Kish for P number 4, in fact. And it seems pretty clean through the middle of the field as well. Actually, someone went off there. I think that was Michele D'Alessandro went off, and that seems to cause a bit of a stir in the back. But everyone's going through pretty nicely, it seems. Eros Mashuli, first DNF of the race. Unfortunately, he is gone from the lobby. So it is Yanni Simicic leading after Sector 1. Actually, that's Michele D'Alessandro going for a dive bomb on Robin Panzer.
Which is very important for the Constructor Championship, actually. And Michele gets ahead of Robin Panzer there.
Yeah, and Ron Panzar's not giving this up. Obviously, no DRS right now, but he is trying to slipstream his way back. And there was another spin in the background, which is one of the Pescara cars as well. So it's all going. Tom Satherley has retired with DNF, with suspension damage as well. So yeah, a couple of DNFs on the opening laps. We didn't get a view of that from the front, unfortunately.
Yeah. For a second I thought Yanni Simicic lost the lead, but it's only Eros Mashkiuli who DNF'd and for some reason gained another lap. So
yeah, I wonder if this was like Phil Kraus back in
actually was.
Hockenheim.
Where did Mashkiuli start? Do you know? Was it further back? Because I saw
He
someone not moving.
started in P17.
Yeah, I saw someone down the grid not moving when the lights went out.
Yes, and he is still P1 now, despite Yerne obviously leading the race. So there might have been a funny glitch in the timing there, unfortunately. This is what happens in sim racing sometimes. And yeah, he is not leading the race. It is Yerne Simincic who's leading the race from almost a second to Petr Belak and Mohamed Patel, who are doing their best to try and keep this Constructors' Championship alive. And Danny Kish, who actually had an awesome race last time out. He managed to follow Michele D'Alessandro through when Callas was holding up the field a bit, and then he just kept D'Alessandro honest the whole rest of the race. So he definitely has some good pace. We'll see what he can do today. And Ricardo Costa, up in P5, sadly lost a couple of positions, but he's still there. And is this Michele D'Alessandro going for a slipstream maneuver on Sergi Arras at the end of the back straight? Yeah, massively outbraked him, and that is him up into P6, starting from P10. So that is not a bad start from the new former sim racing world champion.
Yeah, and just as we said earlier, we will show you the live standings, so we bring it up in the broadcast. We leave it in the bottom right corner, so the current gap in the battle.
Yeah, that table is manually updated when the positions change, so it might take a little couple of seconds after each maneuver, but hopefully that will keep you entertained throughout this race to see as it swings in whoever's favour. And as I said, they need 43 points. Musto need 43 points to seal the championships today. Someone who's had a bad start is Sander Callas, actually. He's down into P10. So Gosby got past him, D'Alessandro got past him. He was pole last time out and he led the race, but he was a bit slow and he sort of held everyone up. And maybe his race pace just isn't quite as good as his qualifying pace this year. Having said that, he obviously didn't qualify too high today either. Had a bit of an inconsistent season, really, after some impressive results this time last year, when he moved up to World Championship after sealing the Ace Championship pretty early in 2017. DRS is active now this lap. Having not too many moves going on right now. Apart from Dylan Scrivens getting past Florian Becker for P14. This is not where Dylan Scrivens would have wanted to be, having been so high up last time out.
Bit of a battle down the grid in Germano Zappala and David Kreco. Still going a bit side by side there. A bit of contact and Zappala spins actually. Oh, there's a car coming. Just could stamp on the brakes just in time to not collect Jim Parisis there.
What is Jim Parisis doing down in P20?
I think he might have been involved in the start accident. Because he started quite far down as well.
Well, he's still qualified in P22. Like, he's just not on the pace at all. I mean, even that race we talked about earlier back in Canada, he was there, but not.
Did he
so
actually
much
do a
anymore.
time, Ollie?
I don't remember exactly, but he started right down the bottom. So maybe he's just not feeling it right now, because he is a multiple runner-up in the World Championship. Because I think it was 2015, for instance, he was there. 2016, he won a couple of races as well. So he's always been there, but this year just hasn't quite been there in this second half of the year. And Edge, in general, have struggled a little bit since the second half of the season happened. So that is unfortunate for them to see in their debut year. And this Michele D'Alessandro.
And Robin Panzer.
Oh,
wow. Big contact with Sergi Harris down the back straight.
Oh, sorry, yes, I thought it was Michele. It was actually Robin Panzer. Very similar looking cars. They had big contact, Panzer and Eris, on that back straight. Didn't quite see who was at fault there, because it happened so quickly, but that is Robin Panzer ahead of Sergi Eris.
Yeah, obviously important move for Robin for the Constructors' Championship, but it looked well. I'm surprised if he doesn't have any damage from it, because the impact in the middle of straight looked quite hard.
Oh, I can see Sergi's wheel vibrating. I think he might have flat spots. Because his wheel is physically shaking, which would be his force feedback actively moving the wheel as he goes down the straight, which might not be good for him.
It didn't look like he locked his wheels when he was fighting with the Robin, so it might have been an issue since the first lap.
Yeah, maybe that's why he's dropped back a little bit in general, because he obviously has been overtaken by D'Alessandro and Panzer now. However, still in the points in P8. Points go down to P10 in the World Championship. Yannis Simičić has more than a second to Petr Berlak now. And in fact, as Mohamed Patel doesn't even have DRS either, nor does Danny Kish. So this top four spread out a little bit right now. I would assume Yerne is just trying to build a gap, spread out the pack a little bit, and sort of lead from the front as he has done many times this season. However, as we saw, if I'm trying to remember the race, I think it might have been Hockenheim where he led for ages, or it might have been Paul Ricard. He led for ages, and he was looking all good, but the cars behind were just saving fuel. And later on in the race, that hindered him quite a lot, as there wasn't enough fuel for him to attack or defend as much as the other cars. So I wonder if Petr Berlak here is just keeping Simičić within reach, not letting him go too far, because it's only 1.3 seconds at the moment.
And with Felix van der After getting very close to Kirill Birokov, it is side by side braking into turn 1. Kirill Birokov on the inside, Felix on the outside. He's trying to make the move there around the outside, but it didn't quite work.
It's good to see Kirill coming up, because Felix has obviously been quite impressive this season in a number of races, but now Kirill has got past.
No, actually Kirill was in front the whole time. Felix tried to overtake him.
Yes, earlier Felix was ahead though.
Okay.
So there must have been a pass there at some point. And oh wow, Ville spins ahead of him. Oh, that's probably race over for Ville. He's in the wall all by himself. Lost front wing. Got EDNF. That is a shame for Ville, because he was just on the cusp of points there, and that is not good for the Constructors' Championship for them either, because there's big midfield battle. So that is such a shame. I'm sure he'll be very annoyed with that, because that seemed to be a personal issue just coming out of turn 9. It's actually very difficult because it's completely blind, it's uphill, there's a bit of Astra on the inside, there's this big sort of curb you can run out on the outside, so it just sort of breeds mistakes, and unfortunately that is Ville out of the race on lap 6 of this event.
Oh, and David Greco spins while trying to overtake Remco Major there. I think, no, Remco didn't touch him or anything. Greco just had a massive rear spin out of the corner and spun his car. And again, I think his rear tires are actually dead.
Potentially. We saw this, who was it earlier? Chelsea Pantelis in the Ace race earlier. He did one spin and then he spun the next 2 or 3 corners, because if you overheat those rear tyres and then you try and get on it straight away, they're done. Because the heat just gets too much, they lose grip when they get too hot, and that's about it. So you really have to keep your tyres in check, and unfortunately Greco is now making a pit stop only on lap 6. Quickly see what tyres he's taking. He's taking the medium, so he's going to go quite deep, but the reason I say quickly is because Petr Berlak, he is in the DRS range. However, Simičić is defending, and I don't think Petr's using much fuel mixer. Yeah, he was lifting, coasting at the end of the straight. He is just reeling in Simičić slowly. And this one thing with the DRS, if Simičić could keep Berlak about 1.5 seconds behind, it would be fine. As soon as you get to that 1 second mark and you get the DRS, you get the extra slipstream, that's when they can catch you. And this is obviously what Petr's done. He's caught up the last couple of laps and is now only a couple of tenths behind, going for the lead of the race. And we have another DRS zone here on the main start-finish straight, which is just about long enough for an overtake. However, it's a difficult braking zone up into turn 1 as it's going up quite high. I think it's about 40-meter incline, and then you have a massive turn to the left because the apex is so far away from the racing line. But nothing he's going to do on this lap. And as we've seen in previous races, there's been a certain amount of chill on the first stint, just sort of seeing what happens, seeing where your tyres are and all that. And then later on is where you start to really decide where you're going to make your moves.
Yeah, but this time around the gap in front is actually bigger. In the last few races we've seen trains of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars, and currently it's, well, there's a train building up now that Petro has caught up to Simoncic. It's he's dragging Muhammad Patel with him, so you can expect them, these three, to build a train up for maybe even overtaking Yanni. Yeah, so let's see, we have another train behind them actually. Carter Costa, Daniel Kish, Michele Di Alessandro, and Robin Panzer all running pretty close together. Michele already up in P6, starting in P10, I think.
Yeah, not bad race for him so far, but he's in no rush at the moment. You can see what he's like, as he has shown many times this season. He definitely understands how to drive efficiently in this car and not use too much, even when he is in traffic. We'll have to see how his race progresses, because obviously his team, Sabema, is third in the constructors, but really it's just been him this season. His teammate was Marco Conti, who unfortunately had to give up the seat to Renz Klopp, but then Renz has missed a couple of races, so Dylan's been there, but then Dylan didn't get any points last time out because of fuel and stuff like that. So it's only really been a one-car team, that team this year. But he is there to help his sister team, Musto, with the constructors. Any points that he takes off Robin Panzer doesn't really help him that much because he's not really going to win the constructors, but it helps his sister teammate. And ultimately, as team owner, that is what he is there for, to help out the team. And hopefully Robin doesn't drop off so much in this race, because last time we saw this, he was sort of P6, 7 in there, and then by the end of the race, he was sort of 10th, 11th, got overtaken by a couple of people.
Further down, we see Santa Callas getting closer and closer every lap to Martin Gosby. They are in a little DS train with Sergio Howes in front in P8. I wouldn't be surprised if Senna starts to make moves soon.
So we have had 5 retirements already. We had Tom Sadley and Mashuli, unfortunately, on lap 1. We had, I don't remember Sapala actually retiring, but he obviously had some issues. Villa Lapella spun it on the exit of turn 10, and David Greco completely destroyed his tyres. So unfortunately, that is 5 retirements already out of the 23 who started this race. However, it is a long race, and if you stay in there long enough, you will get some points. And we got the first pit stop of the race. Jos Araneda. Lap 8. That is a bit early, so maybe he screwed his tyres a little bit, because that is very early. We saw some people getting 14 laps out of these tyres, and he goes to the mediums. So maybe he's going to...
Oh, he had a long pit stop.
Yes.
Maybe some damage repair.
Oh, yeah, look at his steering wheel. Yep. My bad.
Oh.
He has got some sort of damage there. He's not going to be able to continue the race, at least in the long term, with damage like that, because his car will be very snappy in the high-speed corners, especially in Sector 1. It's a shame for Invictus, because...
And Santa Callas is making the move onto Martin Gosby on the back straight, just as I said. Santa will start to make moves soon. Oh, Santa, big moment there out of the hairpin. Had a issue on traction, very hard to get on traction. He had a bit of wheel spin. Martin Gosby nearly came back on him.
Yeah, I saw Santa Callas in the background a few laps ago, actually having quite a big dive on Martin Gosby, but not making it stick. But now he has, and that is the Netrex driver up into P9. Martin Gosby then down into P10. And Kirill Burkov is only just behind them. He has got past Felix and he has pulled away. Has Felix got some suspension damage or something? Or is he just being a bit slow? I want to have a look when he gets onto the straight, because he is not keeping up with this midfield pack at the moment. No, it doesn't seem to have any damage. He just seems to be a tiny bit slower today as he was before, because Kirill Burkov, as I was saying earlier with Jos Araneda, they've had quite a good year, but they've never really been on this pace where they could keep up with the mid pack, but Kirill is trying to do that today. Only 12 seconds off the lead, and right on the back of Gosby and Callas in that battle for P9.
Yeah, and at the front, nothing really changes. Peta and Muhammad Bata still in the DRS of Yanis Simincic. Peta actually getting a little bit closer every lap, but it doesn't seem like he has enough pace or to overtake, or he doesn't want to overtake yet.
Yeah, I really hope Yerne is not ruining his race by doing this, because staying out front too long could be an issue basically. However, he's won races this year. he knows what he's doing, and so it's got to the end of lap 11 right now. I would say most drivers will be going to sort of lap 12. Oh, Danny Kish has gone off in the background. Danny Kish has got passed by Michele D'Alessandro and Robin Panzer and Ricardo Costa. He was at the lead of this little quartet for P4. However, he's now down into P7. He went off at the penultimate corner, which is a bit of a shame for him. It looked like he just did it on his own from what I caught of that. However, not the best for him. And that is Ricardo Costa now leading this little pack behind the leading trio. And I think they're all closing up a little bit actually, because Patel is now only 1.2 off Simincic, when before Berliak was 1.2, and now there are 3 cars in this gap as well.
Well, according to the lap times, the top 3 are still pulling ahead a bit on last lap at least.
I think Michele is going to have a look on Ricardo Costa on the next DRS zone. It was very close there, coming into turn 12 at the end of the back straight. He's up into P5, having started down in P10. Not doing a bad job so far. I wouldn't be surprised if Musto go longer than ACR as well. In previous races, we have seen that they go a lap longer, and Kish and Panzer are pitting. So this is probably the earliest you want to pit at all to make a decent strategy work. And regarding strategy, we're probably looking at a 3-stop today. A mixture between soft and super soft tyres. These 2 guys going onto the softs. And Kish actually jumped Panzer. Panzer was ahead, so Panzer must have had a slightly longer stop for whatever reason. All pit stop times are equal should they do the same settings. However, maybe Panzer made a small adjustment which can add a couple of seconds, for instance, or maybe he just overcooked his pit box. But either way, Kish has got a place back there. They're on P13. However, obviously that is net P6, give or take. I wouldn't be expecting anyone else to make a pit, well, the Mr. guys at least, to make a pit stop for another couple laps. However, Yerne, if he has pushed a little bit too hard, maybe thinking now is the time.
Oh, and look at Kirill Birakov, he's going up the inside of Martin Gosby, down the back straight into the hairpin. Kirill Birakov pulled ahead, he made the mistake, and he's now to the points.
On the soft compound tyres as well. So this is looking like a good strategy. And as we saw as well, when it's higher fuel especially, the soft tyres seem to work. Oh, top 3 come in. All 3 come in on the same lap. Oh wow, and top 5 come in. Sergi Aras stays out, Callas comes in, Birakov comes in, Gosby comes in, everyone's coming in. I thought people would stay.
Oh, Yerne needs to take the long line because everyone is blocking him in front. Does anyone get an advantage out of it? I don't think.
Oh, and Patel almost jumped Berliak. So Patel got a better pit box there.
This was because Berliak needed to slot in right in front of Yerne, so he needed to slow down massively to get into his pit box.
Okay, I just missed them. Missed them actually going in the box, but that is quite. Well, that is quite interesting because Patel obviously gained some time there, and I think Burlak lost a little bit to SimRacing maybe. But everyone yet diving in the pit lane. I was expecting most people to go at least to the end of this lap 14, but obviously lap 13 was their tyre strategy choice. And these people on the softs could get involved, as Dylan Scrivens is only just ahead of SimRacing, and obviously he's yet to pit, but he's not going to pit for another couple of laps. So this could hold up SimRacing and give Burlak a opportunity to overtake.
Yeah, and
Robin Panzer is getting past Florian Gaia down. This is quite crucial because Florian Gaia hasn't made a stop yet, and that means that he can follow D'Alessandro. And yeah, Gaia in the Torrent car has now gone down to P11.
Yeah, Michele and Robin were very close on pit exit actually, but Michele got past Florian Gaia faster than Robin Panzer.
Sergi Eras on the soft tyres is staying out. Felix and Dylan on the soft tyres are pitting.
That's
So
early.
on a step softer, Sergi is staying out there. Maybe trying an alternate strategy, trying to get tyres that will benefit him later in the race. Felix goes to the supers. Dylan goes to the supers as well. Jim Paresis is in. Not having the best day, down now in P16.
Oh, and there's a battle
Martin.
between Gosby,
Yes.
Callas, and Birokov. All of them pitted, didn't they? Yeah.
Yes. And Kiro's got
That's-
ahead of Callas. Yes.
Yeah.
Because Callas was ahead.
Interesting. Hero started on his softs and is now pitted basically the same lap as soft runners.
Maybe he just prefers the soft tyres, because as we saw, he was quicker in the first stint. So it's obviously working out for him. And I tell you something that is not working out. Jerne Simičić has bolted a little bit. He has pulled a little gap from the two Misto cars of Burlak and Patel.
Well, we have seen in the first stint that Jerne pulled the gap, and then the Musto guys came back on him. So they may just take it slow at the beginning to save their tires.
Kirill Burkov, as you say, is in P11, but he's going to be P10 in a moment because Florian Becker ahead of him. This is quite a good race from him so far, but he's lost a bit of a gap to Robin Panzer, but this could be quite good for Invictus because I think they only have 2 points this whole season so far. And Sergio Harris pits, so where does he come out? Probably in that gap actually that I was talking about with Kirill. Can he make it out ahead? Yes, he does. So this has actually worked out quite well for Sergi. He's going to be on his own in P8. He's going to have about 4 seconds maybe to Robin Panzer. So this could work out quite well. He can now push, use the clean air that he's got, and just decide how he wants to drive those tyres and make up some time. And then later on in the race, he'll have a couple of laps less to do.
Yeah, and the group of Burukov, Gosby, and Donna Callas are getting held up by Florian Becker quite a lot right now.
Yeah, Becker's on the medium tyres, hasn't stopped yet, and this is, and actually, we seem to miss that Gosby got past Callas as well. Well, I think they might all get past Florian Becker here, because he won't have DRS and have 3 guys behind the wheel. But maybe Gosby will get Becker too, if that works out well for Gosby, and I think he might just be able to get that. Yes, he does. So that has not helped Callas at all because now there's a car in the way. And this is them up into P9 and 10. So this is the last couple of points that are available. And is that Callas going around the outside of Florian Becker? Not
Yes.
quite.
Well, he tried
not quite.
to.
He tried it, couldn't quite make that move. That's turn 15. It's quite difficult because it's a corner that makes you want to go for an overtake because of the kink before it, but it is quite difficult because it's really tight on the apex, and this has not helped Callas at all. He's going to be probably a second or so behind Gosby, and Florian's actually defending this despite not being on the same strategy, but fair enough, that is 4th position. Callas goes down the inside, to get P11.
Florian is coming back at him.
Yeah, he. I think he's just doing his best to help out his sister teammate Gosby there, but nothing wrong with that. It's all for position, all fair and legal.
And look how much time Sander Callis lost. Felix van Delft has caught up to him, basically. And he was miles back.
Yeah, this has not been the best couple of laps for Sander Callis because he got past Martin. We're like, oh yeah, he's gonna sort of go for it a bit, and now he's back behind Kirill and Martin, and possibly Felix van Delft. So it's good to see that there's still battles going down, even in the midfield when points are very sparse.
And Felix managed to get ahead of Florian on the straight there. Florian tried to fight back in the practice zone, but didn't. And now Dylan Scrivens coming up to. I wonder if medium of Florian might be the wrong choice, seeing the pace he currently has and how much he's dropping back.
Yeah, mediums aren't really the tyre choice this race. However, as we see with the super soft tyres sort of only lasting 10-12 laps, even bringing the ultra softs here would be a little bit silly. So yeah, the mediums, even though they're not really usable, they're just about doable. And actually, Florian's got passed by Felix and Dylan.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not really working out for him on those medium tyres. However, later on in the race, maybe that will come back to help him out. And depending on what happens ahead, maybe he can nick a point. I am seriously concerned for Jim Parisas actually right now. He is last out of the 18 runners that we have, and it is a bit of a shame to see that. He's clearly not prepared for this race in the way that he would like anyway. Fighting with Remco Major, who is the only Halo runner in the field.
It seems like that Edge went a bit backwards longer this season than because if I remember correctly, at the beginning of the season they were quite far up front. They had some top 5 drives, and now Paris is battling with Remco Major in the braking zone on the back straight. Still can't manage to pass him.
Yeah, it's hard to say what's in a driver's mind, and as we spoke with James in the previous stream, he was saying, you know, how Jim sort of needs a teammate, and as you can see, he's the only Edge driver here today because Manasakis departed. They got in Jarl Tyen, but Tyen was unavailable last race, and seemingly unavailable this race as well. So not sure whether it's the team's issue or whether it's the driver's issue, but there is an issue because a driver of his caliber could be much higher up.
Can you hear something interesting?
I do.
Umit Patel. Oh, Jim Parisas and Remco Major just had contact in turn 1. Yeah, Muhammad Patel just set the fastest lap in the race.
Yeah, he is definitely very close to Berliak, and they're just following Simoncic's pace, I think, because they're pulling away from Ricciardo, who, to be fair, is actually doing a good job, but not quite on the pace of the top 3. So they're pulling away there. Oh, Major's out. Major is out. Just popped up on my screen. Suspension damage, no front wing. See if you can get a replay of that.
If I can find a replay. So he was going through the assist. Oh, we had a lot of oversteer mid assist and then went straight into the wall.
That is a shame for Remco. Not had the season he would have wanted, unfortunately. Maybe WC is a bit too far of a step for him. He was in pro last year, so it's quite a big step to move up. And yeah, hasn't been the best season in general. And yeah, again today with an accident and not really worked out for him. And Florian Becker's made a stop finally off the mediums and onto the super softs, and Jim Priestis has parked it as well, unfortunately. So that's a shame to see those two having a bit of a battle. Didn't end well for both of them.
I guess.
Oh, wow! Robin Panzer hits Michele D'Alessandro. I thought D'Alessandro was going round there, but luckily he didn't. And yeah, Robin, that's a bit of a late move into turn 15. And as I said a couple laps ago, it just wants you. It's like a corner that's just telling you to overtake there because of the line that you have to take. You go really wide, and because of the kink, it means there's so much room to go down the inside. However, there wasn't quite enough room, and Robin Panzer is going to have to go for it into turn 1. However, Michele defends nicely. And yeah, that was almost a fairly decent spin for Michele, but he managed to catch it. And that has meant they've lost a little bit of time to Danny Kish in P5, but nevertheless, they are P6 and 7. Still got a fairly decent gap now to Sergi Arras, who hasn't been able to make those inroads that I thought he would. And this has meant Kirill Burakov has actually caught up. Kirill has got some good pace today, I have to say. He obviously just didn't quite qualify where he wanted to. His best time is actually similar to those of the leaders.
Let's take a look at Robin Panzer. He's very close to Michele Diaz. Oh, this was a very late defensive move by Michele there. Robin Panzer had to go completely off throttle to avoid crashing them both.
I'm gonna quickly just check that, but I think Michele ended up giving Robin the move there.
Okay.
I think he knows. Maybe not. He was very kind on the brakes to Robin, but I think he realised that was a bit too much. Unfortunately, I mean it's hard to say, but that was very late move. Unfortunately, there was no big crash there, but he is now down into P7. So these two having a little battle. It's quite important for the constructors, as we said, because any points Michele can take off ACR will help Musto quite dramatically. So let's see. So right now, Musto and Zackspeed get the same points.
Oh.
So that means that the gap would stay the same. So, yeah, right now, no change. Yeah, they both gained 33 points. It's interesting that 1st and 6th equals 2nd and 3rd in the points.
It
just shows you how valuable a win is in the Formula Sim Racing World Championship.
I'm surprised that Michele is so far off pace today. Well, I mean, I guess he won the championship and has no need to finish first every race anymore, but...
Well, he did say last time out in the post-race interviews that he wasn't going to be trying 100%, only trying enough for the constructors. Because at this point in the season, for the teams and for prize money, that's all they care about. Once the drivers is gone, the constructors is the next priority. What's O?
Yes, he's only in it for the constructors. Maybe his plan all along was to have Robin behind him and then let the guys in front of him create a gap.
Oh, potentially. I mean, so far no illegal actions have happened, so all is good. But obviously, if he's not trying hard enough anyway, oh sorry, not hard enough. That's the wrong way of putting it. If he's not trying fully, then that also puts him in a position where he's not going to be at the back. But he did message me in the practice saying that his wheel was having some issues, but who knows what that actually means, whether it was genuine issues or whether he was just struggling this race. And it is actually a difficult circuit. It's a very technical circuit, and as we see through these, like this third sector, no corner is straight. That sounds stupid because corners aren't straight.
Corners aren't straight. I was about to say
they're not continuous. Every corner is differing in radius, or it has like a kink in it, or the line that you take is not normal because of the one after it. There's a lot of linked corners here, so it does make it a very technical circuit, and if you're not quite on the ball, that's where you lose the time in the transitions. And for instance, where we're seeing the leaders come now, the first sector, you have to line up turn 3, so you open up turn 4 so that you're not too tight for turn 5, so that you get the better line for turn 6, so that when you get the second apex, you're not too tight for turn 7, so then again you're not too tight for turn 8, so you can open up turn 9. And that's all 6 corners in a matter of 8 seconds that you have to get the line right in the first corner. And obviously these are the best drivers, so you would expect them to get it perfect. But if you're not quite feeling it and you make a little bit of mistake, that's where you can lose the tenths.
Yeah, and currently don't seem to have any. Michele is still following Robin. Sander Karas is slowly catching up to Martin Gosby, I think.
Yeah, that battle behind Sergi's been there for a little bit, but it sort of just spread out a tiny bit with Kirill, because Kirill was all over the back of Sergi a few laps ago. And I just remembered I read
catching up to. Is this?
That's Michaela. Oh, so you mean there must be a back mark?
Wait. This is. Oh, never mind. Sorry, I'm mistaken. Sergi's car for Fleur.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah. No, they've just got a bit of a gap to Michaela, as they have done since the pit stops, really. Didn't quite work out for this sort of second little group. Second quartet, actually. 4 people ahead, 4 people in this one. And Kirill's dropped off a little bit, actually. He's 2.5 off now.
Well, what I think is he pitted quite early on the softs because Ira maybe wasn't the best. So now that the others are on softs who were on super before, they might have better tire wear and getting better tire life out of it, basically. So they're getting faster compared to Kiro. And Muhammad Patel is going for second place. Gurdak is letting him through.
This must just be a team option. Yerne is now 3 seconds up the road. Oh, sorry, it was 3 seconds. They gained some time in that sector. 2.5 seconds up the road. And maybe Petter is not quite on the pace.
Oh, Kirill! Holy, this was really, really close. So Martin Gosby was overtaking Kirill Birakov into the happen, and Kirill basically came to a complete stop on the apex, and Sander Karas nearly rear-ended him.
Yeah, very close for the Invictus and the Netrex there. Obviously, Invictus, this is actually quite important for them in some ways. I know it's only 1 point, but...
Oh, and he's pitting. Just as I said, his tires are falling apart.
Lap 24.
This is early. This is really early for 2 soft stints.
Let's have a look. He pitted lap 13? Or it's probably 12 then 13. So, yeah, that's an interesting one. How he's doing the same lap lengths. In fact, he's doing less laps on the softs than people like Sergi were doing on the supers. But we saw this in Silverstone. He used the hard tires, and then he came in for some softs and then started doing like some hot lapping. So it was a very interesting strategy that he did back there. Obviously, tyres aren't his best friend today. And Patel's managed to get the gap down to 2 seconds. So that's a half second he's got in the last lap. And that's probably why they put him ahead. Wouldn't be surprised if that was somewhat of a team order.
8/10 faster last lap. So.
Yeah, he's obviously decided this is go time. We need to get this get the time down a bit, because you don't need to get too far away, because then you just have a lot more to push later on.
And obviously, him being faster, he can track Petter Project with him because of the DSO, and Project just made a mistake there as Panzer comes into the pits. Didn't he come first into the pits in the first stint as well?
He pitted lap 10. No, where did he pit? Lap 11. So.
Oh, he's going supers. Can they do 2 supers to the end? Probably,
that's
right?
30 laps, 50. No, he might go another soft stint, but yeah, it's very close.
As the fuel level goes lower, I think they might be able to do 2 super stints.
Well, Sergi did it, but judging how he did in the first stint, I would be surprised. I think he might go to the softs at the end, but we'll see what he does.
Oh, we have a nice quite little battle there between Jos Arenado and Florian Becker, going side by side a bit in the last sector.
Yeah, 2 compound difference of tyres. Florian Becker is on the super soft tyres. Jos Arenado on the mediums. And Jos defends into turn 1. Makes a bit of a lock up there.
Is Jos on his second medium stint?
Potentially, he pitted a couple of laps ago.
He only did 13 laps on a medium. And then pitted?
13.
Oh, oh no, I forgot he had damage, didn't he? Or was this in the first?
Yes.
Well,
no. That was his last pit stop.
Obviously, he has damage, yeah. So, yeah, damage obviously might affect him.
Michaela pits. So Michaela is covering any sort of undercut that Robin
and he
would
needs
have.
to cover, because Robin just did a 39.1 in the middle sector, fastest middle sector so far.
Michaela goes to the soft compound tyres. So this is what I was saying about Panzer, and basically doing 2 supers and 2 softs during the race.
Yeah, and Panzer just went past him. You could see him there on the camera angle. He made a massive undercut.
Yeah, that's what the super softs do, really. Brand new super soft against 15 lap old softs. There's no contest at all, to be honest. And Michaela's basically covered him best he can, but he is probably going to go to super softs at the end, when Panzer is either going to have dead supers or softs. So either way, he's probably going to have an advantage there at the end. And now Panzer is behind D'Alessandro's teammate, Dylan Scrivens, who's not really having a good race compared to what he was in Suzuka. And looks like Panzer's going to be just about getting past. Dylan's got good top speed. But there goes the Swedish driver up into P9. Oh, 2 Mustos pit. 2 Mustos are undercutting a CR. So I wouldn't be surprised if they choose the super soft tyres here. Ricardo's in as well.
I think they needed to pit. Otherwise, Robin Panzer might have undercut them. They went out for another lap.
So Berliak has left. Mu has now left as well. Both on the super soft tyres. So yes, they are going for an undercut. And you are right, the Panzer is actually not too far behind them. Another lap or so, and it might be some
close with Sergi Harras and Petar Project down pit exit. Petar Project actually doesn't manage to get ahead of Sergi Harras. And they are both on supers, aren't they? Yeah, they are.
Yep. They're just doing the same strategy.
So, as Sergi is now in front of Petar, this basically means Petar is not able to undercut Janis Simičić.
Yep. So that has not worked out for him. And I'm sure he'll be using every bit of fuel that he can out of this hairpin onto the back straight. Because for his race, for Musto's race, he needs to get past. Although Sergio has DRS as well, obviously, from Mohammed Patel.
Oh, and in the background we have Sander Callas and Martin Gosby battling for position as well. And Callas is ahead.
Again, Callas overtakes Gosby. They've been battling pretty much for the whole of the 28 laps completed so far. And yes, Yerne's in. So Yerne is covering as he effectively had to. And he, I would assume, takes the super softs. Yes, he takes the super soft tyres. Danny Kish is in as well. So where is Mohammed Patel? He is at the penultimate corner. Now coming around the final corner. And where is Simičić? Simičić has not released the pit
Coming
limiter
down
yet.
to the line now.
This is going to be very, very close. However, I think Simičić is just going to have it, which he does. But that gap is about half a second, not a second and a half. So there was definitely a lot of time gain. And Petter managed to get past Sergi and has already pulled a second and a half, which just shows you the pace difference that these brand new super softs are having. Wow, Robin Panzar is almost 5 seconds up the road from Michele D'Alessandro. That is pretty ridiculous considering they were right next to each other. And Panzar is now going for Danny Kish. No, not Danny Kish. Sander Callas, who has not made his next pit stop yet.
Where's
But
Danny
he's
Kish
not really
actually?
defending. Kish pitted, but is behind.
Got undercut by
Yes.
Michele and Robin.
Yeah, good spot. Yeah, good spot. Because Ricardo got undercut by Michele as well.
Oh,
So that's new.
That's actually very good. Robin undercut everyone in front of him.
Yeah, and he's
Huh.
miles ahead. He's, as I said, he's almost 5 seconds ahead of Michele D'Alessandro. Actually, it's more like 4.5 seconds ahead of Michele D'Alessandro. So that has really worked out well for him. And he is in P4 effectively because Sergi Arras needs to make another pit stop. However, Sergi went really long in his first stint. How long can he go on this second stint? So far, he has only done 15 laps, and he did 15 laps or 16 laps on the super soft.
Oh,
So
do
I
you
wouldn't be
think he can save a
surprised.
pit stop?
I mean, there's 26 laps to go, so yes, but whether he... Because that's 26, so he would need to stay out another 4 or 5 laps, which is, to be honest, considering how long he took the super softs, that is possible. Is it going to be quicker? Only time will tell, but that is potentially what Sergi is doing. You are correct.
Well, I mean, if he... How far in front of Daniel Kish? He is like...
6.
6 seconds. Well, Daniel Kish is his main target, as he was...
Oh,
in
Robin
front of him.
Panzar gets past Sergi Harris into turn 12. So that is Panzar legitimately on strategy in P4. And this is what I said earlier. I said I hope he doesn't just flounder away like he did in Suzuka, and he hasn't. Albeit, he's using the tyres, but if he can do double supers to the end, and everyone else has to, well, not everyone else, but people like Michele have to do super soft, then this could work out pretty well for him indeed.
Yeah. The big question here at the tire strategy is, did Robin pit early every time because he destroyed the tires, or did he pit early to undercut? Because if he only pitted early to undercut everyone, he might have enough rear to, or enough tire saving to do 2 supers to the end. That's the big question.
Only time will tell, because Michele, let me just double check. Yes, he was 0.8 quicker last lap. I know Panzar had to overtake, but just shows you Michele is not slow despite being on these soft tyres. And that gap has actually come down. I said it was about 5 seconds, it's now 3. So in the last about 4 laps, Michele's taken about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds. So he's not slow despite being on these soft tyres. And Mohammed Patel is half a second off Yerny Simičić. Last time out, I noticed Yerny did a purple first sector, but clearly Patel is quicker elsewhere and is right on his tail. So is Petter Burlak, only about a second behind himself. And D'Alessandro gets past Sergio Arras, so D'Alessandro is now into P50, to P5 as well. We're now well over half distance, and the top 10 has stayed fairly static throughout the race. However, the strategy has been quite important at this track, and I think that these tyres are really offering some good choices for the drivers today. And Ricardo Costa goes very defensive to Danny Kish, almost for no reason, into turn 1. But yeah, he's actually dropped off a bit, hasn't he? Like Panzar's moved up and Costa's come down throughout all these pit stops. Simoncic again. PB, well, not even PB, purple, so fastest of anyone in the first sector, but Patel is right there. So maybe Simoncic using some fuel in that first sector to try and get a gap to stay away from this DRS, staying dead right off the track as well for the shortest line, because this isn't really a straight, it's sort of got a little bit of a curve on it. So stays right for the shortest line and manages to defend this lap. I am still surprised that he's led this long though. I really thought the Mistos would overtake him by now.
It looks like Yanni has really good speed. He just set the fastest sector in Sector 1.
But yeah, I don't know. I just thought that he would not want to lead for the whole race, but so far that is what he's done, because he's led every single lap so far. As we come on to start lap 33 of 56, 23 laps to go. And it's really Sergi pits. So this is 24 laps. So if he is to go to the end, he needs to go on the medium tyres. But as we saw, mediums were slow. And he's gone onto the super soft. So yes, he's backed out of this. He is going double supers to the end, unfortunately. He couldn't make a two-stop work. And I think Danny Kish passed Ricardo Costa into turn 1. But Ricardo got the position back. And Michaela is now only 1.2 seconds behind Robin Panzar. So there's me saying, oh, Robin's done really well, 5 seconds. Hasn't really worked out for him. Maybe he has killed the tyres.
He did.
I'm
pretty sure he
I
did.
actually wouldn't be surprised if he does something like 3 supers. Like 10-10-10.
Well, this would throw everything around. This is pretty...
It's just he's killed these tyres very quickly.
To be honest, Michele is going faster than the top 4 at the moment.
Okay. I didn't notice that.
Oh,
but...
Kish and Costa fighting. Does a little bit side by side. Kish tried to overtake Costa again, but Costa got the position back there. They're very close between these two. Oh, and Patel is kind of close to Simon.
As it stands, with Panzar and P4 in the constructors, ACR actually gain on Musto. They will achieve 37 points, and Musto will only get 33. So the gap will go down to 24.5 going into the last race. However, that's still advantage Musto, because as we see, even now there's only a 4-point swing, and then ACR would need a 24-point swing. So it's still looking in the way of Musto for the constructors. However, ACR are gaining. And I assume this is probably why Michaela is pushing so much, so that Robin doesn't get away.
And Daniel Kish again. Like the 5th or 6th try going past Ricardo Costa. This time around, managed to sit before the braking zone, so much easier. And Sergi is on...
Supers.
Why is
Yeah.
Sergi on Supers?
He obviously couldn't make it to the end because he pitted with. Actually, basically it would be too
Oh.
close for the softs, I think,
Huh.
go to the end. So he's having
I
to.
mean, he could have tried. He fall back to P13 because of it. He has nothing to lose.
Kirill Burkov out. Kirill Burkov is out.
Oh.
It says accident, so hopefully you can get a replay of what happened here.
I think I can. Let's take a look. So... Oh, yeah, the big oversteer. Oh, yeah, well, this is game over. Yeah, the big oversteer moment and missing a front wheel.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone crash there. So that was a bit interesting to see. Especially not crash on the right-hand side anyway. But yeah, that is Kirill Burkov out, and that is points gone for Invictus again, unfortunately. They'll be scoring no points today because Jos is, well, 40 seconds off the points paying positions right now. And Michaela is quite close to... Oh, no, that's a little bit too far to do some sort of a dive bomb, but he is very close now. And he's making these soft tyres work. He did a bit of lift and coast as well. Just choosing his opportunity. And just clicked on the top 3, and they seem to spread out a tiny bit.
Well, Janne and Mu doing basically the same times every lap currently. Simončić just ran purple again in Sector 1 this lap, 3/10 faster than Mu. Is it this lap or last lap? I think my live timing is actually quite a bit behind.
Yes, and Berliak did purple final sector, but overall Mu was only 1/10 slower. So despite Janne pushing in the first sector, which ends about now, Patel managed to have it elsewhere, have the speed elsewhere.
Yeah, and Panzer, wow, Panzer chopped the pace a lot. He's nearly 1.5 seconds slower than Elias at the moment.
Yeah. I was surprised that he's going to try double supers. And with 20 laps to go now, he still needs to get a few more laps if he wants to take a set of soft tyres comfortably. This is why I said maybe he's doing 3 supers. But as you say, that just ruins the championship hopes for ACR Zach Speed. They would literally need to hope for a Singapore version 2 where Musto get no points. As James had mentioned last time out as well, the last time Musto got a double non-score was many years ago, apart from Singapore this year, and that's what ACR would have to hope for in Brazil in 2 weeks' time, if Robin doesn't keep this, well, at least this 4th position anyway. But he's still going for now. So Sergio Harris, P12, he went purple final sector last lap. Let's see what he does this lap. He's going to have DRS as well on Dylan Scrivens. What lap time can he do? 34.3. So very close to the fastest lap of the race. And he's definitely fastest on track at the moment. But as we know, he's sort of messed up the strategy a little bit, trying to recover. Yeah, Michaela absolutely not thinking about an overtake. Didn't really use any mixtures. Lifting coast. I think he knows what's going on with the strategy.
You have Sergi going for a move on Dylan here on the back straight, up the inside, ahead in front of the before the braking zone. Dylan tries to fight back on the braking, but obviously worse tires and Sergi gets ahead.
And Jos Araneda has pit for another set of medium tyres.
Ooh, this is the third set of mediums. He only did 13 and 15 laps on the mediums.
And he's got 18 to the end, so...
This will be close at this current rate of medium.
Yes, unfortunately, he has not had the tyre wear that he hopes today, and he's actually gone a lap down. As will Florian Becker. Oh, Florian Becker could actually get involved in this lead pack right now, because he's actually going to give DRS to Yerne.
Huh.
And if he is smart, yet he'll get out of the way right now. That is the best place for him to get out of the way. Let the three leaders go. But he actually gave DRS to Yerne Sivicic, as the detection goes off anyone that is in front of you, whether they're a lap ahead, a lap down, 4 position, whatever. Any car that's you are within 1 second of, you get DRS. So that actually helped Yerne a little bit, because Moo's only 3/10 behind at the last sector point.
And it looks like Robin has stabilized his pace basically, while the front three are getting slower now.
Kish and Costa are right behind them now. Having said that, there was a bit of a gap there, and now they have caught back up. Obviously, Kish and Costa are also on the super soft tyres, but have shown they've got a slightly better wear, it seems, than Robin Panzer. But Robin is trying to make the strategy work.
And you know who's battling again?
Oh, who's that?
Crash.
Robin Panzer. He's off. Well, not off, but he's completely off the line. He's got overtaken by Michaela and Kish. I just click away for a second, and he hit one of the brake marker boards.
How did he manage this?
I wonder if this is a screen freeze or something of similar. Let's have a look.
Where did it? There it is. I will take a look as well, and he's going.
Oh, he got nudged by Michaela.
Oh.
Oh no, he screen freeze. That's why. Yep. He screen freezed. Michaela tried to move out the way
slightly. This was so close to a massive incident. And
Kish going for the overtake on D'Alessandro as we speak. So Kish has made use of that and got past. And is that Costa getting past Panzer as well?
Yeah.
So that's not worked out for D'Alessandro or Kish at all. And I think Panzer may have a bit of damage.
Well, Michele definitely hit Panzer there. This is also not the first time this has happened to Robin.
No. I think it was Silverstone, especially, he had, or maybe the race before that, he had some really bad lag, and basically he was given like a suspension. Oh, he's now making a pit stop actually, but he's going to have to go to the softs if he is pitting now. But yeah, he was basically given like a race suspension to sort out his PC. It was that bad, because yeah, it was Silverstone. He took out a driver in Ace, I remember now, and he is. What is he going to now? He's going to another set of super softs. 16 laps. That's a bit far. But yeah, he was supposed to sort out those issues. However, that has been fine the last few races, but it came up again just a couple of laps ago. Luckily, no drivers were heavily inflicted by it. That was still an issue, and Felix van Delft is pit. But instead of going to the supers, like Robin, has gone to the soft tyres.
Which I think is the more reasonable decision, especially looking at Robin's supers were shot after like 8 laps.
Yeah, it's a weird decision, that, considering there's a championship on the line. So, yeah. Although having said that, where Robin was before he pit meant that most of those still get 33 points because they're still in second and third, but ACR would only get 31, so there'd be an even bigger gap. So it is really important that Robin gets this P4. However, he's not doing the best job of it so far. And Michaela and Kish stay out, obviously, as it's not quite the pit time for these super soft runners, or for the people going to the end on super softs, I mean, which all three of these probably will. And top three still within a second or so of each other. Yene has been doing really well to keep these guys behind for so long, to be honest.
Yeah, well, he always has as an answer to the pace of Patel and Perliak in the last few laps.
Oh, Yene is absolutely defending this. He went left and he went right, and I think Patel might even look at a big dive bomb here down into turn 12. He's going to have to go to the outside, and he's made it work. Mohamed Patel has outbroken Yerny Simoncic, outdragged him, and Yerny's trying to go around the outside. This is some nice battling, but Patel just squeezes him out. No, see this corner, as I said, you want to go side by side, and you just about can. And Yerny's made that work. Fair play. He's made that work, and now he's got the line for turn 16, 17, 18. And Patel tried it there, but couldn't quite make it work, as that corner, turn 15, really invites you to make an over.
Both
hits. Oh, I bet you Moo was planning on that, and that looked like a late call from Yene.
Perliak is going for the overcut there.
Oh, Kish and D'Alessandro and Costa, all of them, are coming in the pit lane. However, Berliak might as well try something different. He's just been sitting behind them for the whole race. Can Moo get out ahead? Not quite. So they are going to be neck and neck. So for the lead of the race, you have your two leaders coming out of the pit lane. We have 14 laps to go on these super soft tyres, and this is a straight fight to the end now. There's no strategical difference or anything. This is just it. And Sergio Harris in the background.
Oh, there was a crash in the background.
It wasn't Sergio Harris. It was Jos and Florian. It was Jos and Florian. And Florian's going to be careful here because you've got all the leaders coming around.
Huh.
And oh yeah, everyone's coming in the pit. Gosby's coming. Scrivens is coming. And
yeah, I will try to take a look at the week.
Just on that note, Robin Panzar did not undercut Michaela this time. So Michaela is ahead on fresher tyres. So unfortunately, that seems pretty set for Robin right now.
Let's take a look at one. So they were battling into turn 1 side by side. Oh, Florian came across of Jos there, and they locked the tires basically.
Jos is out of the race, so double non-finish for Invictus Motorsport. Bit of a shame for them, as their pace looked alright. And, Peter Belak is coming into the pit lane. But this undercut's going to be huge. Yerne is pushing a lot. He has pulled a bit of a gap to Patel. I reckon that Berlak is going to be a little bit behind. But I did not see his outlaps. I did not see how he was pushing. Oh, he's actually not lost anything. Berlak has literally lost a total of maybe 0.2 of a second.
I think he would have lost more if he came into the pit at the same time because of the pit box problem with Yanni.
Yeah. So, yep, he's lost maybe a second actually in total. But that's fine, because he'll probably catch that up. Get a bit of DRS. And all that is... yeah, Florian Becker is retiring, unfortunately, after that contact with Jos Araneda. Yeah, but back to the front. Yeah, Peter will probably catch up fairly soon. But have a lap fresher tyres. And Sergio Harris now, yep, this strategy has not really worked. He's on the super soft tyres, but he still needs to make another pit stop. So he's looking like he might barely get points today, with the pit delta of about...
Michele!
Really late. Oh, wow. Michele knew he needed to follow Kish through to not lose any time. Really late move. Now he's trying to go round the outside of turn 13 and now into turn 14. And then he'll have the inside for turn 15 here. Oh, Sergi! Oh, wow, Sergi just touched the little bit of concrete on the outside. Lost the place to Panzart. And yeah, this has not worked out for Sergi at all, unfortunately. He screwed his strategy earlier, trying to make a two-stop work. Didn't work, had to convert. And he
I'm
is now
surprised he's not going in.
behind. Yeah, I think he wants to get another set of supers, but then he could pit now.
Yeah, exactly. And he's losing so much time already on these old super softs.
Yeah,
So
if he
wants to have any chance at scoring a point, he should have pitted really. Let's see, here's P10. Sander Callas is a P10. Let's take a look at the gap when he crosses the line. It's 18 or 17, a bit less than 17 seconds. Huh.
Sergi's going to come out of the points.
Yeah.
So this really has not worked out for him.
I mean, he would have currently come out around Felix on Darf, basically.
Yeah, Ricardo's getting past him as well now. I think you're right. That last lap probably should have been his pit lap. Because there's only 12 laps to go now.
Is he trying to go to the end on his on his supers?
There's no way. He's already done about 10 laps on them.
He did 15 laps in the first stint. Why does he not pit earlier rather than later?
Yeah, it's a bit confusing. He's not going to get points today, unfortunately.
Because currently Dylan is faster, Felix goes faster. Much faster, actually. He's losing nearly 2 seconds a lap currently to them, and he's staying. Oh, no. Late move. I think someone might have listened to the podcast.
Yes. Yeah, no, you actually can make a late move here because it isn't actually a pit blend line. It's so far off the racing line, there isn't actually a blend line as such, but there's still that red tarmac that you're not allowed to touch. So you can make quite a late call here. And he is now, yep, there goes Gosby, there goes Callas, and Felix, is he? Yes, and Dylan. So this is P12 for Sergi. So points are still up the road, a couple of seconds, but it's only going to be well, not even a handful, it's only going to be a couple, rather than about 5, 6 or more that he could have got with a slightly better strategy. Michaela, P5. Seems a bit closer to Danny Kish. Too far to make a move, but close enough. He's getting DRS. And Patel, I think he might have had a look at Yane Simicic there.
No, he didn't.
He is very close indeed. And
was very close on the braking, but didn't go up the ends.
Yeah, what you said earlier, I think might be slightly incorrect in the fact that I think Musto have the speed here on Yane.
Do you think they're waiting for the end?
I think they are waiting for... They're waiting for the correct time to overtake. And that is probably in the last 5 laps of the race.
I mean, it does make sense to save up everything you have and then go full attack the last 3 laps when Yane can't pit early to undercut again.
Yeah, I mean, look how close Patel is. Usually Patel is slower in this first sector, although, yeah, Dirty Air got him there a little bit. But Simicic has led every single lap. And Petter or Mu, whichever one was in second at the time, has pretty much been in DRS since the first DRS lap.
Oh, Mu's close.
I think this is it. I think both Mustos.
Oh yeah, this is it. This is definitely it. Mu's going for it. He's turned up the engine. And yeah, easy DRS pass, I would say.
Yeah, but that is all because I think they've got the speed here. I think Musto have had the speed on Yane, and they have just been controlling themselves, as you say, saving a bit of fuel, using it here and there. And is Petter gonna... Oh no, I thought Petter might have a look down into turn 15. But Yane, I think it's I think Yane's done here. I think Petter is going to get past very shortly. Unless Yane has just composes himself a little bit.
Oh.
Although, Petter running a little wide there. So maybe not this lap. But I think very shortly Petter is going to be looking at getting past Simicic. Something that has just hit my mind. Mohammed Patel has not won a race this season. And a point that I mentioned earlier was, I don't recall a year where he hasn't won a race,
To be fair,
at least for many, many years.
he was very close to winning 2 times, but each time there was a battle with Michele D'Alessandro. One time there was contact and Mu lost out, and this second time Mu went into reverse and well, spun himself out of the race.
Yes. But today, he has found himself in the lead, and he's defending all the way on the left side of the track. And yeah, I don't think Petter can do anything. If
But look
wow,
at
lift and coast for Petter Böllek. But I don't think he can do anything when there's still slipstream for Yanni Simoncic.
but it looks like Mu has the advantage on the straight, even though Yanni has the S.
This is very close. As the standings are, Musto would be leading the constructors by 42.5 points. They need 43 to win the championship today.
Oh,
But you can't get half a point. So it's quite important that Simoncic wins. So if Böllek gets past Simoncic, or if Panzer doesn't finish quite as high, which is possible with Ricciardo just behind him, then this could be constructors over for ACR Zach Speed. So this is very important for them. It's not only bragging rights, but it's also things like prize money as well.
let's take a look. Muhammad Patel is 0.94 seconds ahead of Yanni in the last sector.
At the sector time, it was just over a second. Simoncic was just over a second. He may not get DRS this time, which would help Petter quite a lot.
Yes.
Oh, no, but he gained, yeah, he gained a little bit back. Because I think that lap that Simoncic loses DRS, if he does, I think that's going to be Petter Böllek getting straight past. But yeah, this is quite crucial for the Constructors' Championship.
Simoncic was a tiny bit faster in the second sector. He could lose DRS right here for the main straight. Petter's always going a bit wide there on the exit of turn 19, clipping the gravel a little bit, and Simoncic lost DRS, I think.
Yes, this could be the moment. Oh, yep, Petter, a little bit of lift and coast again, just saving that extra tiny bit of fuel that he'll be using at various points in the lap. They have 7 fuel mixtures, 1 being the slowest, 7 being the fastest. And obviously you can, at any time, change that to go up or down. The difference in horsepower, I think it's about 100 or so from 1 to 7. So there is a fairly sizable speed advantage if you have it.
It's close on the S again for Yanni. I think he might have gotten some more DRS. Oh. Yes, he has.
Petter's close enough, but yeah,
the DRS saved him. Yanni always seems to be a bit faster in Sector 1 compared to the Mustos.
Yeah, Petter's all over him though.
Oh, and Panzer is very close. Costa is battling Panzer actually. Costa just got ahead of Vervin Panzer.
That in itself
is Musto championship
changing move. Yep. Yeah. Because that means that Panzer will get, I think, 2 less points, which means that would put it in the way of Musto. And Petter Böllek again. Oh, Simoncic again. Oh, is Petter going to go for this big dive bomb down into turn 1? Yes, he goes. Oh, sort of half thinking about it. Decides not to go for on that occasion. Probably more trying to guarantee Yerne doesn't get DRS by trying to. But look at that dirty air through turn 5 and 6. He lost a couple of car lengths, but now through 8 and 9, very important chicane to get right. through the kink of turn 10. There's the detection zone. So does Simoncic. Wow, Pet is very close. If Yone's got no DRS, this is an overtake.
It's over. This is an overtake. Look at the overspeed Peta already has. Alongside, long before the braking zone. Gets ahead of Yane there. Turned the fuel mix up, got ahead before the braking zone. Job done by Petar Brilek. Now it's only thing he has to do now is defend.
Yes, this has been quite masterful, tactical play by Musto. 46 laps they sat behind Yane Simoncic, saving their fuel, saving their tyres, doing the strategy they wanted. And as soon as it gets to a point where they can attack, boom, they go, and within 4 laps, both Mustos are ahead of Yane Simoncic. Maybe Simoncic stayed too long in the lead, however, it is not all over, but we'll have to see how the Mustos react to this, because I assume they have a lot more fuel. Because of
Yane...
Ooh.
What? Yane is very slow all of a sudden.
He was very slow in turn 1. I wonder if this is a... I think maybe he realizes the implication. Yeah, he just locked the rears a little bit into turn 1.
Oh, and Prayag is attacking Muhammad Patel.
Well, yeah, this is...
Oh, you know what? Mu might not get a win this season.
Yeah, there's no reason that these guys cannot fight for the win today. There's no reason for them. I mean, they have first and second. They have a little bit of gap to Yane. It's every man for himself, as it should be. Must have been fairly good with that this season, especially places like Monza.
Felix just went into win, I think.
Yep, he clearly couldn't get to the end, or he had a issue, because he's now battling Flo Gaia. Where is Sergi Aras? Sergi's miles off. Did he make another pit stop?
Yes. Yes, he just made another
Okay.
pit stop than the lap before.
Was that with Felix? Was that?
No.
was that-
He made a
Okay.
pit stop 1 lap earlier. I could take a look. Oh, he definitely had an off track. So I guess as nothing happens right now, we'll just take a look at it. He was battling, or he was right behind Dylan Scrivens. Oh, Dylan Scrivens had a massive screen freeze into Sergi Harris. Sergi Harris can be lucky to still race.
And the outcome of that, though, is that Dylan is in the points and Sergi is potentially going to get lapped if he's not careful, unfortunately. And yeah, I know Dylan is actually in the process of getting a new PC. Don't know if that had anything to do with the PC he's currently got, but yeah, screen freezes. It's a shame that they happen. I'll tell you what, the Mustos aren't dropping Yane, but...
Well, Petter is dropping.
Yes.
It's not dropping that much. Prayag actually was 1.3 seconds faster in the last lap compared to Mu. Mu might have burned all his fuel trying to get out of the DRS of Yane.
Potentially. And as I said, he is a fairly sort of down-to-earth person. I think he would much rather that they win the Constructors at this point, rather than going and almost risking a crash to get the win. Although, as any as any racer and FSR World Champion, he obviously wants to win the race as well. They have got a little bit of a gap, but Yane is not disappearing.
Last time was pretty even.
So as it stands, Musto would have a lead of 50.5 points. after 11 rounds. So with one race to go, that would be too much for ACR, and that would be championship decided today.
And it doesn't seem like Robin is able to get any more positions. He's currently slower than all of the people in front of him, slower than these drivers behind him. So it looks like Robin will come home in P7. So it's all about Yanni, if Yanni can keep the championship alive or not.
Yeah, luckily for Panzer, he's got a big gap to Martin Gosby, about 10 seconds. So, unfortunately, Gosby not quite been on the pace that he would have wanted today. And obviously, Villa Lapala would probably been in there as well had he not made an uncharacteristic crash at turn 9. So, yeah. Again, Gosby only let's pick up a couple of points. And Dylan seems pretty set in P10 as well. And Michaela actually might be having a look at Danny Kish soon. At this point, again, Constructors is fairly sorted, so he might as well go for it. On the super soft tyres, of course. Same as Danny. They've actually dropped Ricardo Costa a little bit. About 5-second gap now, when Costa was actually ahead of these earlier on in the race and dropped behind. Then caught up, but he's dropped behind again a little bit. And yeah, Robin Panzer, unfortunately, lost, well, 8 seconds so far compared to where he needs to be for any sort of hope for a championship resurrection. And we are starting the last lap of this United States Grand Prix. Two Mustos leading the way from Jernej Simoncic in third place. Jernej led for 46 laps in the early parts of the race. Thought he had it under control, but then the two Mustos came at him with all the fuel saving that they did, with all the strategy that they had. And Petr Berliak, lap fresher tyres, just about pulling away from his teammate. So not quite the season Musto wanted this year. Neither driver being able to really compete for the for the drivers title. But in the constructors, they are looking like they're on their way to get the win over ACR Zach Speed. And they just have one more sector to go. And with Robin Panzer down in P7 as well, that's not helping Zach Speed's try to get this championship. However, Petr Berliak has done a fairly decent race. Saved where he needed to do, did the strategy he needed to do, and then made the overtakes at the end in the last stint where he needed to as well. And as we come around the final corner, he will drive up to the finish line at the end of the straight, and that is Petr Berliak winning the United States Grand Prix and Musto winning the Constructors. That was a brilliant display, brilliant driving by the two Mustos to win, getting past Jernej Simoncic in that last stint, and Danny Kish again with another good result in P4. Michele D'Alessandro in P5. Ricardo Costa coming up in P6. Robin Panzer, fortunately, if he got P4, there might be a chance for them to take the Constructors to Brazil. But he is there down in P7. Martin Gosby, P8. Slightly disappointing for him. Callas again. Also disappointing. P9. Dylan Scrivens managing to get the final point. And then there'll be Felix van Delft, Florian Gaia, and Sergi Arras to complete their final laps.
I think Felix. What was he behind? Seconds.
Felix is reversing across the line. Um,
uh,
that might impose him a penalty post race, but that will be looked at. He
I'm-
clearly binned it at the final corner.
I was going for the fast lap. That's as much as I could see.
Yes, well, interesting end to this race, but it is Musto who take the Constructors' Championship after a 1-2 finish here with Petter Berlak and Mohamed Patel. Jene Simicic, again, commiserations to him, has not been the season that he wanted, really, in both the drivers and the constructors. Well, we will try and get some interviews now and see what the drivers have to say. But Petter, what would you like to say about the Musto performance today?
Pretty good description of the season, I would say. They kept racing to see what happens in the race. They had the pace. They let the others do the big work. They saved everything they needed to do, and they attacked when they needed to. Basically, that's how all of the season went. So yeah, I would say pretty much a good representation of the whole season, and that's why they are constructors champions overall, because they did everything they needed for the whole season, and that's what I showed today.
Jene Simicic is still sitting out on the track, so he is obviously probably quite slightly upset about the results today, because he probably thought that he had it in the bag. And to us, I did for quite a while, thinking that he could hold them behind, but obviously it didn't really work out for him today. But again, he had good pace. And going into the final race of the season next time out in Brazil in 2 weeks' time, I'm sure he'll be trying to get another race win. So in the end, Musto won by 50.5. Well, obviously we still have another race to go, but at the end of this race, they have 50.5 point advantage. And so they are on 290 points when ACR Zaxbyed are on 239.5. Then Sabema Racing are in P3 with 206.5. And they're here now, so we will pull in your podium drivers for today. So hello, and Petter, well done, congratulations. I'm sure for you that was quite an interesting race, just sort of sitting behind Jene. I guess you were saving fuel for the whole of that, well, first half of the race, really.
Hi guys. Yeah, the start I knew that it was just important to keep P2, and I tried to save a bit of tires, a bit of fuel, but Jene was really fast in the first end. I had a bit of trouble keeping up, so I didn't save as much as I would have liked, but still worked out quite well when I switched to the Mo, so he could carry us a bit because I used up my fuel. And yeah, in the last stint, I think going a lap longer, that was kind of crucial to not have a drop at the end.
So you say that you actually, you basically had team orders to let move past in that first phase.
I guess, yeah, you could call them that. But, you know, we're on the radio and we're always working together really well. So, you know, it happens almost every race that we try to do at least one switch.
And Moo, coming to you, did you think you had the win at the end there when you got past? Because
honestly,
saw
I
that you
didn't.
almost had it.
No, honestly, I didn't really care because, firstly, and most importantly, I think Petter, considering the fact that he had so many different leagues that he was doing this year and didn't really have much involvement with setup. I think he smashed this one because none of us really had the motivation to practice, and Petter, for once, had time and motivation to drive. And we used his setup, and it was more or less his setup that allowed us to do 1-2. As for the race, first of all, Simončić had an amazing pace. That's fair play to him. I guess our title sponsor, Thrustmaster, really helped his pace today because new equipment, great pace. Shame they don't sponsor ACR, but that's another thing. And then because of that, I saw Petter was struggling a bit on the soft tires, and I tried to overtake him. It wasn't really planned to do it initially, but then the last laps I saw he was quite struggling, quite a bit slow, and I was like 4 tenths behind him on a lap on the straight. So I was like, okay, we might as well do it. And then I tried to close the gap on Jerne, and I honestly failed at that overtake because I really wanted to overtake him just when I pitted and then break away. But he did really well holding the position. And then after that, it was just I made sure Petter was there with me before we went to overtake. As for whether it was team orders, it's not really team orders, it's common sense. I kind of disagree with Petter that we do it all the time, because more or less one of us has some mistake, but we're never on the circuit together anyway. But today it was critical that we tried to make a massive gap to ACI in the constructors. That was the main challenge of this race, and quite clearly we did very well in that.
Yeah, well done to you both. It was quite a nice performance to see actually from both of you, because you were there with Jerne the whole race, and I did get to a point where I thought that Jerne was able to hold you. So congratulations for working out the strategy. And Jerne, bringing you in, first of all, commiserations. Unfortunately, the Constructors Championship won't be going to ACR's X this year. However, that was still a very good race from you and a nice pole position as well. So how was that race for you?
It was quite a well. It was a good race, but it was a really boring race because I mean, it just shows the weakness of the mod this year. That it's better to DRS behind someone for half the race, and then just mix past him. And I feel like I was 2 tenths faster than Musto guys, but I mean, 2 world champions working together against me, I knew I had no chance deep inside myself, but I still tried my best, and in the end, of course, there was not possible victory without either of them making any mistake. Also, it didn't help that my steering wheel failed. So yesterday, a box with used T500 surprised me. I thought I would race with DFGT. So yeah, I had just like one test race yesterday to prepare with the new wheel, with the changed buttons, and yeah, it showed today in the race when I pressed pit limiter button instead of mixture, because I moved the buttons a little bit, and that didn't help me either. But not to make any excuses, they were just better with the strategy.
Well done. Anyway, it is obviously quite difficult at the best of times to beat these 2 Musto guys, but obviously you having to change wheels and stuff in the the day before the race, that's quite difficult. So well done anyway. And Peter, is there anything you'd like to ask?
Really, I think you asked everything which needed to be asked. Big congratulations to Musto Racing for winning the Constructors Championship and World Championship of Formula SimRacing, and I think we had quite an entertaining race. Yeah, not really much more to ask then.
Yes, well, as you say, congratulations to Musto, and in 2 weeks' time, we come for the final race of the season, round 12, from Interlagos in Brazil, which is always a good race, and the race there specifically last year was very good, and I'm sure we'll get another awesome battle there with these guys going out for one last time this season. But for today, that is just about it. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope that we will see you in Brazil in 2 weeks' time.
Do you want a more immersive experience? Thrustmaster T150 Force Feedback Racing Wheel. Official PS3 and PS4 licenses, and also PC compatible. Rubber coated wheel grips. 1080 degrees of rotation. Adjustable force feedback. Large metal sequential pad. Optimized ergonomic design. Mixed belt, pulley, and gears system. Thrustmaster. Enter into the real driving world.